Well, welcome back to the show. We've got Sawyer Dietz, who just graduated from in Masters.
Masters, yeah.
In
Public health.
Health
From USC.
USC, great school. Were you part of that commencement with Oprah?
I was not. No, she just did the journal, the communications.
Communications, okay. Because there was a lot of people graduated all at the same time.
Yeah,
it was pretty hectic over there.
Those few days were kind of back to back over there. But yeah, it was. I heard it was a great event.
So, what field are you going to be helping out the world in?
So I'm going to be working with people who have HIV and AIDS, and we're specifically working in.
I'm sorry, had or have?
Have currently. So people living in California, so people who are on government-sponsored insurance. So specifically working in that area in quality, so for reporting purposes and for patient experience purposes.
So do they have that handled as far as treatment? Because it used to be a deadly thing where everyone died, I guess?
Yeah, exactly. So it's actually transitioned in the past 15, 20 years from an infectious disease to a chronic disease. So there is treatment. There is no cure as of right now, but there's treatment. So like you were saying, when it first came about, it was a death sentence. People were dying within a matter of weeks or months. And now there are a couple of different treatment approaches, but people are able to live much longer and not die right away. You can reduce their viral load to a certain number, to the extent where it's not even as if where they can't spread the disease anymore. But what's really interesting is that there's a new area of research of interest, is that how these people who have HIV, how that affects their other health outcomes. So what diseases are associated with living longer with HIV. And that's a field that people don't really know anything about yet, because people weren't living long enough to get this far.
Right, exactly.
So this is a whole other area that they're just starting to explore.
Well, that's uplifting. That's good news.
Living longer is definitely uplifting. The fact that it's a research opportunity is uplifting. So yeah, I'm excited. I think the way that I've kind of been taught about public health, and the way that I think about public health, is that you pick a disease of interest or a population of interest, and then within that specific bubble, you can do anything from education to policy to promotion to research, whatever it is. So you kind of find what you're interested in and what you're passionate about. And for me, it has been, I decided that I wanted to work with people who have HIV. So this was great.
How did that come about?
I don't know. It's not something that I have to I have to deal with or have any family experience with. It's just, I think, talking about, we've learned about how the crisis started and kind of the public health infrastructure that was in place then, and how it was handled by the governments, and how people pushed it away and refused to call it an epidemic, and because of that bureaucratic decision, millions of people were sick and then died. So I think it's kind of just, that was what stuck with me. And I've just been fortunate to get a first job in the field, within the area that I want to work in.
That's wonderful. Doing something you're passionate about, looking forward to waking up in the morning to do some good is always great.
Yeah, I've had a couple other jobs before that definitely didn't have that same field. So this is an exciting new step. So
now AIDS came out, but there hadn't been AIDS before AIDS was called AIDS.
Right. So HIV. So AIDS is basically full-blown HIV.
Acquired immune.
Auto. Yeah. So basically, your white blood cells start attacking your own body. So it decreases the functionality of your immune system to the point where you can't fight off like a common cold anymore. So the way it works is you have your CD4 cells, which are white blood cells, and you have a CD4 level count. And if you get below a certain number, you have HIV, and if you get below even a certain number, you have AIDS. But what's really interesting is that how it's handled and treated in America versus in other countries.
Okay.
And especially depending on because you basically, if you live in an at-risk community, you're at a higher risk. So if you're homeless, if you're an intravenous drug user, if you're an MSM, so many men, so those are high-risk populations for how HIV can be spread. And in other countries, they do preemptive treatment, basically. So if you're going to be conducting yourself in those, like if you're going to be doing those behaviors, you can get treated ahead of time. So if you might already have it without knowing, you're treating yourself, and you can lower your level and be safe before you get diagnosed. Whereas here, it's not really, we're not fully up on that same scale as of yet. So I'm speaking very broadly, and I'm sure other people who might watch this will have a better idea of what I'm talking
No,
about.
I'm sure it's all about spreading the knowledge. You've got good knowledge. You just graduated. It's an evolving, science, I guess, or disease, and you're trying to treat it and do better things with it, right?
Right. So there's the one method of treatment is like don't do those dangerous behaviors. So don't do IV drugs. Don't share needles, that kind of thing, obviously. And then you're more at risk if you for certain sexual behaviors as well. So one idea is like don't do any of that kind of stuff, but that's obviously a hard treatment path to take because people are gonna for whatever reason they want are gonna do that.
Right.
So then the other thing is you can do treatment as a prevention. So if you're saying if you're gonna engage in these behaviors, there is a drug you can take every day, and it will keep your viral loads intact, but you have to take it every day. So the issue in America is access and cost of this treatment.
How much is it?
It depends on your health insurance plan and what's covered. But if let's say you don't have insurance, it's prohibitively expensive. So if you are home,
we all know the insurance is all a big scam.
Yeah,
big farm is a big scam.
It's
What about CBD? Does that help?
I don't know. I haven't read any studies of it.
You know about CBD though, right? Cannabinoid. It comes from the hemp plant or the cannabis plant.
Yeah.
It treats. It's been known to cure stage 4 cancer, diabetes, arthritis, pain, all sorts of. It's a miracle drug that Big Farm doesn't want you to know about because they don't control it.
Right. I don't know. I haven't read any studies. I don't see how it would hurt because it's just with HIV it's more about your immune system than anything else. So I can't imagine it would hurt, but we didn't really get that far in terms of class. But so yeah, the thing is just access to the medication, and you have to take it every day. So if you are kind of vagrant or you're living, you don't have a steady source of income or a steady home, and you need to take this drug every day, and it's between trying to pay for that or food or whatever,
or more drugs,
yeah. And the other issue is we're talking about cost. So it's like you can't buy. If you can't buy it, you're going to fall off of your treatment plan, and then then what you do take is not going to be effective anymore.
So does the state have a program for the homeless?
Yeah, so you can get tested, and then they work with you to develop a treatment plan. But then it's, again, the hardest thing with, and I'm kind of speaking specifically about homeless or low-income people, is following that routine in the regimen. Because once you start something and take it, and then stop taking it, your body starts building up an immunity to it.
Oh, great.
So that's the issue with antibiotics and stuff, is that your doctors tell you to take it, tell you to finish your prescription even if you're feeling better.
Right.
Which doesn't, when you think about it, doesn't really make sense, because how do you get, let's say you're back to 100% and you have 5 days or a week left, where do you go from there?
Right.
What's better than 100%?
Right. Exactly.
But what you're doing to your body is that you're building up a resistance to it, so that the next time you get sick and take that same drug, your body has already built up a response to it, where you can get sick, so you'll take longer to recover, or it'll mutate or whatever. So that's how you get the different strains of the flu.
Gotcha.
Things like that.
Okay. So you graduated USC, top of your class?
I don't think so.
Okay, but you got a job.
I did.
Who are you going to be working for?
AIDS Healthcare Foundation. So
okay.
It's an international,
well-funded organization.
Well-funded, yeah. So it's a nonprofit in Hollywood out here.
In Hollywood, okay, good area for the homeless. So before you're starting work, which is when?
I start at the beginning of June.
Beginning of June, you're going to go home?
I'm headed home.
To visit the family and have some fun?
Yeah, have a little decompression. You know how hectic it is with trying to wrap up school, find a job.
Yeah, sure.
That kind of stuff. So
but you landed all that. I always suggest to young people before they get into their career to travel.
I did that before I moved here.
Okay, good.
Took a year off.
Oh, great. Where'd you go?
I went to Australia.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I love Australia.
Where have you been?
My son played the Grand Slam there.
Oh, nice.
So I went to see him play over there. It was a lot of fun.
I took my parent. Well, I didn't go with my parents, but they went, and when they came to visit, I suggested they go there. And then when I was there, after that, I actually did go for a couple of days, and it was hot. Let me tell you, like I can't imagine trying to play. I don't know how he did it, but I was in the stands. I was sitting there. It was like over 100 degrees.
When I was there, it was the hottest day in a century. So, yeah. And my son's playing the tour. They used to play around the country, around the world. But in Missouri, especially, it was real hot, and they used to call it misery. And literally every day, someone would go to the hospital. One of the players, because it's so brutal.
I don't doubt it.
It's a tough sport, So congratulations on graduating.
Thank you.
Congratulations on getting a job.
Thank you.
I'm glad to see you did some traveling, because it's the best thing in the world when you're young. When you get married and have kids, it's kind of tough.
Yeah, you don't have the time to do that.
Exactly.
The flexibility.
So that was uplifting to hear that some good things are happening in that respect. It's uplifting to hear that you're doing well and you've got a bright future in front of you. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, my pleasure.